Dave got violently knocked out and he is now awoken. Awoken. I could still smell blood. But there wasn't any within eyesight. Another memory. Dom's body being dragged through the foyer should have left a trail. What? Another memory, Dom's body being dragged through the foyer should have left a trail. I guess they're trying to say that Dave is now in another memory, and not that was a memory.
I don't know.
It's conveyed oddly enough that I thought he was waking up from a memory and Dom never actually happened for a minute there, which would be frustrating because then it would just undo any escalating stakes that happened. But I think Dom was real, and he's just like, wait, I can still smell blood, but I don't see any of it here. And like them dragging Dom away should have left a trail that they apparently would have not cleaned up. So this must not be reality. This must be a dream now, or not? I don't know. I don't know.
I truly, if it helps, could not tell you. I could not tell you what is happening. You're doing okay.
I just slipped, that's all.
Jeez, be more careful. You did not just slip. Thanatos fucked you up. What are you talking about, you idiot?
Wait. No. This game's not doing this. Is it undoing Dom? Did they just... Did we just wake up from a memory because we fell asleep on lookout duty because we're both bad at lookout duty in our dream and in reality? Because in our dream we opened the door, but in reality we actually just fell asleep and fell over, and now we're waking up. And what we saw an alternate timeline where Dom comes in and gets shot, but that escalated stakes is now being
I don't know.
The logistics of that scene are super confusing and weird, but it's definitely much more frustrating to then tell me it didn't happen and actually the stakes aren't going up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Once again, I felt not in control of my body, but I could feel the corners of my mouth curl up in an embarrassing smile. Okay, no, this is the dream. Okay. Jesus Christ, I was so worried. Did you want to come on a walk? Figured I'd go look at the view from the main road.
I'd be dead weight. Don't work that far out.
So even if I held you up to look around, you wouldn't see?
More worried you'd accidentally draw me off the side of the mountain.
Yeah, that makes sense.
None of this makes sense, Dave. Literally none of it. What the fuck are you talking about? Why not take one of the others?
It's early. Let them sleep.
Sal and Haas are already up and about.
Yeah, but they're doing their own thing.
You know, you're handling this very well.
Handling what well? There was a genuine confusion from both of us, it seemed. Last time, there was talk of a fire, but this seemed to be something else.
You know what? Never mind.
No, Thanatos, tell us what timeline we're in. Oh. What's happening here? I definitely remember the voice.
Junior here fell down and is still intent on going for a walk.
Dave, that's not exactly the best idea. Why not? I'm fine. I just wanted to go look at the view from the road.
You can always go with him.
Pardon?
When was the last time you got out of the house? Might also be nice to have a doctor around in case he falls again.
Did you want to come, Oz? Please, it's Ozwood. We've been over this. Okay, did you want to come, Oswin? If it's just a slow walk, then all right, but only to get my mandated exercise in. So our Oz told us to call him Oz, right?
Yeah.
So this is something, there's something different here about this one that insists on being called Oswin. After some additional grumbling, we headed outside, Oswin closing the door behind us. Come on, you better not be too slow. We literally just set up that it was going to be a slow walk, you fucker. We started off at an alright pace, but it was clear that Oswin didn't exercise much. Not that I was much better, it seemed like. Why has it always seemed? Are we there yet? I had stopped, and Oswin continued lazily strolling forward past me. Almost there? Are you tired? Yes? Would you rather stop or keep going? We're almost there, we may as well keep going. The mountains opened up before us, and we stepped out from the driveway onto the main road. As I wandered closer to the edge and to look over, Oswin lingered closer to the edge of the hallway to watch. That's just supposed to say driveway. There's no hallway. Don't fall. I'm not gonna fall. The air was crisp and fresh. Once again, I felt that smile on my face. Must be great living out this way, huh? It has its perks. Such as? Well, for starters, your mother is less inclined to travel all the way out here to tell me how to do my job, given how far away it is. I shot him a look, and he smirked upon seeing my reaction. In reality, I haven't rightly known anywhere else. I was raised here, tutored here, and really only left to get my qualification. Ever thought about going to the beach? I've thought about it. And I've been. Once. And what did you think? It was fine. Come on, the beach is great. Dave sounds younger here. This sounds like we're hinting at the idea that everyone here, or some of these characters, were at Oz's place before the events of this game, like Haas and Sal and Dave or something, and then they don't remember that, and that's why there's this bizarre timeline with all the same characters here, and then there's an alternate timeline where this place burns down, and all of Dave's friends die before, before their memory was wiped, before all that. And so that's why completely different characters are alive in that timeline.
Yep.
It'd literally have to be before the events of the game, because David is alive, the dad. And so it'd be like, oh, somehow butterfly effect, like this place burning down and killing all of Dave's friends leads to an outcome where the dad isn't in line of duty the day that he died, so he doesn't die, but everyone else is dead, kind of thing. Come on. Yeah. The beach is great. Sheva, come on. And yet you came here. The mansion was something that brought us together, tore us apart, and to choose not to go through all the ups and downs, hard. And to choose not to go through all the ups and downs, hard. Huh. It made me think what would have happened if we did go to the beach instead. Before I could think too hard on it, my eyes opened again. Okay, now Dom is back.
What the hell, man? Told ya.
I'm sorry? Huh? What?
Back with us?
What happened?
You started eating marshmallows like a crazy person. Trust me, I know crazy.
Are you just Brian? I didn't expect you to try and beat Roswell's record. I was only joking. Then, what? I realized I was soaking wet. Sitting beside Haas was a now empty jug.
Poor guy soaked. But it did wake him up.
Haas, so help me, you better find him a towel.
Fine, I'm going. Dom, keep him company.
I was trying my best to watch the bear despite the body I was in seemingly having other ideas. Ugh. Did he have to pour the whole thing on me?
Don't ask me. I would have done mouth to mouth.
I think Dean would have gotten jealous if he did that.
Yet another Dean is my boyfriend moment where it just feels weird because
we've been over it too much already, but I'm just screaming at this game like, please, very clearly establish their relationship at the beginning of the narrative if you're going to constantly refer to it as far as I can tell from people that have just gone back and checked the beginning of the game, the Dean narrative we have just contradicts all introduction we were given at the beginning in every possible way. Like, it just doesn't in any way.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just that it's underdeveloped, it's that it actively contradicts the information we were given. Like, it needs to be cleaned up so bad. It's brutal.
Yeah.
This could be Dean route, maybe. So maybe we're literally dating Dean in this timeline, because who knows what the fuck we're watching right now.
Yeah.
Did you read this?
Oh, don't worry. You wouldn't be the only one in trouble.
What do you mean? I wanted this to stop. I didn't want to experience past memories or hallucinations or anything beyond what was happening in my actual body. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. Everything that I was experiencing felt numbed, and I hated how I was starting to doubt which me was the real one. Sitting up suddenly, I looked around. The first thing I was looking for was Thanatos, but saw nothing. No Roswell either. In fact, no one at all. Had they just left me here? Or was this another memory? Guys? Thanatos? Flexing my fingers, it seemed like it was my own body, and I took the chance to stand up, supporting myself on the stairs. I looked across the floor to check for blood. Sure enough, drips of blood leading into a single room hinted that that's where Dom had been taken. There was no way around it, I had to be sure. The mysterious bonus room! Its only significance is that it just showed up out of nowhere 50 hours into our playthrough and was never remarked upon. Roswell? He was on the ground, looking at Dom, who was covered with a blanket. Or, at least mostly was. It had been folded back for the time being. What are you doing?
Probably the same thing you're doing.
What do you mean?
Didn't you just...
I wandered over and sat down next to him on the floor, trying not to look at the dead bear beside us. Memories again?
Yeah, I'd only just come in here after making sure you were breathing. Haven't seen anyone else yet.
You left me in the middle of the foyer?
I wasn't sure where I was. No idea where the others are either, or Thanatos for that matter.
Some friends they are to leave us both like that. Thanatos is not your friend. You know this fact. And only Haas is missing. The other people weren't here when this happened.
They might not have had a choice. Plus, are we sure we're both, you know, properly back?
Roswell, you can't possibly be suggesting this is some shared memory, is it?
Could be right. Assuming that things might have played out this way before, we could have had this conversation before, and,
He trailed off, shaking his head.
It's kind of sad to think about, isn't it? Having maybe lost Orlando once before, and this time it just... What I mean is...
I don't want to talk about this. Orlando, Tyson, Oswin, Dom. 2 people that were our friends, and the other 2 just... How many more people are left that need to die before we can get off this mountain?
Me? I don't know. I don't think there's any way to really know.
Dom hinted at another way off the mountain. At this point, I'm tempted to just try climbing down from the main road unless we find a way, what way he took to get up.
If you took the main road, I doubt I'd be able to follow. If it's somewhere in the woods, then we run any number of risks.
As if we're any safer here, not with Benson shooting people. Anyone else could be next. They could come out of nowhere, too.
You're probably right, but I don't like the options.
Is it bad that I've wondered if it's, you know, worth getting to him before it gets to us?
You want to kill Benson?
Yes, Dave. Kill Benson. After what he did to Tyson? What he didn't do to save Orlando? I don't know why he thinks that he would magically be able to save Orlando.
But you, Dave, actually want to kill Benson?
Nothing you're saying is that weird. Like, nothing here is that out of character for Dave, honestly.
Yeah. I just want revenge for the two of them, that's all.
Sorry, hold on, loud noises.
Happening? Are you okay? Is this
yeah,
a mugging?
No, it's perfectly fine. My food got here. I got poke.
Oh, there wasn't a large bear knocking on your door?
No, unfortunately not. Continue, please. You're welcome.
No, this is your line.
No.
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 Dave, getting off this mountain alive is what's going to help. No, not, well, taking someone else's life. What would Orlando think? What would Tyson think?
This is just, you can just say no, everyone. This is how it works. If someone tells you have to voice a character you hate, you can just say no.
I mean, you're replaceable, I guess, but Jesus.
Oh, no, that's not what I said. The union agreement says otherwise.
You can't fire me from this unpaid internship. I'm entitled to fan art.
It's true.
That's what I pay. That's what I pay Toaster with. Is you guys making fan art?
It's the only thing that makes this job livable.
Before I could answer, I could feel someone watching us from the door. Turning to see who it was, Roswell followed the direction I looked to. Wrong. That might be the right two. I guess it can't be. Dean?
What are you doing? Where are the others?
I should be asking you two the same question. Why'd you leave us unconscious in the middle of the foyer? What do you mean? I turned to Roswell, who looked just as confused.
You didn't know what happened in the foyer after you left with Sal?
No, like you said, we left. Guessing you two fell asleep like last night? The rat did
That's
it.
an awfully nonchalant way of describing two people passing out hard on the floor. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a weird way to put it, because when he previously found Roswell, they would have previously found Roswell and Dave unconscious from the last time that Dave got knocked out of the vault, and just thought they were sleeping. But he wouldn't think of that as like an event that was caused by anything. So he wouldn't then think, oh, that thing happened again where you guys mysteriously fell out, like in sync with each other, fell asleep in sync with each other. It's like, no, that'd be a weird leap to make now when you didn't think it was a thing before. You're like, oh, I guess they're sleeping. Anyway.
Time for a little nap.
The rat did it. He made us pass out. Well, that's not good.
Why?
I don't know, man. Why do you think it wouldn't be good if you passed out on the fucking floor? Like, what the fuck?
Why are you say? I don't understand why you're saying why when, like, it's maybe because the writer is prompting him to say the thing that he wants him to say, but it's a weird response. Like, you just told him the rat makes you pass out. Like, well, fuck, is the response. Like, why are you acting like the bad news we gave you that we framed as bad news was bad news? We were just accusing you of ignoring the crisis situation, and now you're treating it like a crisis. That's suspicious.
Yeah.
Last time I saw him, he was lingering around Haas, but Haas seemed kind of out of it. He's mind controlling Haas or something. Where are they now? I jumped up, almost knocking Roswell over in the process. Dominic had gone forgotten, now worried about what Thanos was up to. That doesn't scan. That sentence doesn't work. I get what you're going for, but you just said Dominic's corpse is worried about Thanatos.
Well, I mean, I think in this timeline, Dominic is alive. Maybe no.
We're back in
here.
murdered Dominic reality, which I briefly was worried was being retconned, but is real. Thank God they're not undoing mistakes this time.
I'm a little bit confused now. I mean, I guess this is what is supposed to happen. I mean, people in the comments and stuff, because I mean, as much as I say I don't read the comments, that's a filthy lie for my mental health.
Yeah, no, you delete all the ones that make you angry.
I delete all the comments that make me angry, because fuck you, that's my power. I'm allowed to do that. I don't even give a shit. The thing that is confusing about this playthrough right now is, obviously people have said, like, this is not a route that we should be doing. We should have done the other one first, or we should have boyfriended someone else. But like, I've been over it a bunch of times. I'm not going to rehash it too much of like the game should lock out routes if we're not supposed to take them. But the thing that I'm finding kind of strange is like, I don't understand how the game is positioning Dom, because this could be a really cool moment if for like Benson, right? Like Benson coming down the stairs, killing someone and definitively being like, this guy's a bad dude. I killed him. We dealt with that. That could be like actionable information for us that like does something different for our understanding and context of this character that is just newly introduced for us. Like, obviously it's a little bit hard to make a story where every single possible potential point a character is introduced becomes their true introduction. But like, theoretically, it would be really interesting if this being our introduction to Dom sets him up as like a character that Benson is directly opposed to and is really dangerous. But it's like so ambiguous what's going on, and like how we're dealing with it is so weird, and it's already thrown so many other random things in. Like, here's a timeline where Dom seems to be like a pretty nice guy who's like not an issue. It's like, I just don't know how to read his character.
It's rough because like I don't know if they were going for it, because his last line, he does a little pose, and maybe they were trying to make him seem threatening, but it kind of didn't seem like, it kind of seemed like he kind of seemed to just have like himbo energy when he did his like cracked knuckles pose, as opposed to like threatening. So it's like, am I supposed to think that he's like, because we don't know his tone of voice because it's not conveyed to us and it's text. So we don't know if he was like being threatening, like, haha, there's more than one way up this mountain. He's actually about to like come and get you with his evil voice. And he's like being like playing with Dave. Or if he's just like, there's more than one way up here. Like just fucking deadpan, like you were voicing it or something.
Yeah.
So it could have been a totally innocuous line that wasn't a climax, and he then just got shot because Benson was going to kill him regardless.
Yeah.
Or it could
like,
it could be meant to be like, oh shit, like they didn't narrate him like reaching for Dave or something to convey that he was like in some way aggressing before he got shot. So that leaves it ambiguous what his role is. So we're only then left to get basically exclusively from like Thanatos the hints that okay, maybe he is from the Dragon Mafia, because Benson also wasn't really saying much and kind of just left, I think, if I remember correctly. But so I think that is supposed to tell us, because it's like essentially, I think that's the author just telling us verbatim, like, yes, he's with the dragon bad guys. period.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to just accept that, but without it being like conveyed via his actions and so on, because he dies so quickly without even doing anything aggressive. And yeah, like, and then I think we're supposed to be confused by the flashback because like, wait, I thought he was the bad guy, but he seems all right. Like, he's fucking Mr. Poopy Butthole just inserted into your friend group, and everyone's acting like who was here all along.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, but we'd have to figure out what the fuck those visions are, which I'm suspecting are the past. I don't even know if if it makes sense to call them another timeline, because these characters, as we know them, and how they're being set up, literally can't be interacting in that way, like, unless we're going like infinite multiverses, fucking like everything everywhere all at once, where these characters have massively different relationships and backstories, but also mysterious they're still at the mansion for some reason. It's way more logical to think, oh, it's just some wacky genre shit where they were all here 2 years ago in almost the same configuration, but then their memories were wiped because for some experimental reason. And that some of these people used to hang out. Because that potentially leans into why Haas also already knows him, because there's like some sort of ongoing plan with all these characters. But that also lines up with the idea that Dave's parents were already here and Sal was already here, and those details that we do know all leans to the idea that they were here before but forgot, because that was something that was done to them. But yeah, it went from being a very good introduction to Dom, because his at least the vibes we were getting from him and from his dialogue and how we were playing him made him very entertaining, and kind of like he kind of felt like a character and all that. But then he dies so quickly, and then we basically spend more time being confused by him than we did interacting with him, that we're back to like not entirely sure what to feel here. But anyway, at least I'm pretty sure we're now back in the original timeline, and I am amused that even the characters are confused at this point about whether or not they're in reality, because it did throw me hard, where I was like, dude, do not retcon Dom. Are you doing this to me? Stop. Like, I had the same fear. I've never related more to Roswell is what I'm saying. I saw them outside, from the window in the kitchen.
In the backyard?
Tearing out of that side room, I threw open the door to the back and immediately regretted it. I must have still been reeling from waking up as I collapsed soon after. Okay, I'm a little mad at Dean now, because he saw them outside? We just killed Dom, and the rest of them are supposedly out there. You can't be like, yeah, I just saw Haas outside, and I just went about my day and didn't react and think, oh fuck, what are you doing out there? This is the time for no one to be outside. Haas? Thanatos sauntered up to me as I was a heap just outside the door, shaking his head. How does a quadrupedal rat saunter? What does that look like? Animate this for me and spend 100 hours animating this walk cycle.
He's fine.
Where is he? What did you do?
You know exactly what I did. Haas has just taken a little cat nap of his own to shake that headache I gave him.
You hit him twice then? But where?
He's alive, if that's what you're wondering.
You keep responding like that, but we asked a question, and the question is what we were wondering, Thanatos. That's why we asked the question, and then you answered a different question if you were wondering that. I'm like, no, that's not what I asked. He does that all the time. He does it so much. I'm like, no, not if you're wondering. I asked that question, and you didn't answer it. He stepped out of the way as I made to grab him and shook his head again.
He's in the hedge maze, genius. But before you go running off, have you cooled off yet?
My second attempt at trying to grab him fell short, and he shook his head once more.
I'll take that as a no. Fine then. I'll come find you. When you have, I'll come find you.
I don't want to see you.
You will later, Junior.
Thanos scurried back inside, skirting around me before I could block his path. When did Sal get here?
Are you all right?
Gave us a bit of a fright rushing out like that. It's probably in the narration. But I just, like, he wasn't in the group. I didn't have a response to them, but my mouth was curled up in a crooked grin. Tears were welling up in the corners of my eyes, and the moment I started to laugh, the dam burst. It was that hyena laugh that almost sounded mad, the throaty kind of cackle bordering on a wheeze. Dave? Are you having your Joker moment?
Have you been Joker-fied, Dave?
He had his hand on my back, gently rubbing in circles.
Is there something we should do?
I don't think there's anything we can do, is there? I'm barely holding it together as is.
Sal had his hands on me next, and I was lifted from my spot on the ground and hoisted over his shoulder.
Come on, Dave.
We wandered inside, although Dean lingered out back as Roswell followed sluggishly behind. I know that Dave's a hypocrite and immature and everything all the time and so on, and he's also going through emotional crises and whatnot, but he was just on everybody else for leaving him out in the open when Roswell had only been awake for 30 seconds and Dean never knew he was even unconscious in the first place. They just heard that they came out here looking for Haas, heard he's in the hedge maze unconscious, and they're just going back inside. They're just gonna leave Haas in the fucking hedge maze, which like... Yeah. Which there's also like so many things where I'm just like, Thanatos is like, obviously I just knocked him out like I did you guys. I just walked him to the hedge maze for some reason first, instead of just knocking him out where you guys already were, and just left him in the hedge maze, genius. This is a normal response that requires zero additional questioning. You should just continue on like this all made sense. And then they kind of are, like no one's questioning, like, why the fuck did he lead him to the hedge maze and knock him out there? What the fuck is happening with Haas? Also, let's just leave Haas to rot, I guess. He'll be fine, he's in the hedge maze. Famously safe location in the hedge maze that's not in the house. What? You acted like it was fucked up you were left in the foyer. The house. So I'm just like, Jesus, what the fuck is happening? Sal laid me down on my bed carefully, and the laughing started to finally die down. He was just doing it the whole time. Okay, he's gone. I could feel my face scrunched up tight in pain, instead trying to cry more.
What happened?
It's hard to explain.
It really is. Haas. Hedge maze. While wiping my eyes, I managed to see them look at one another before Sal made to leave. I can't do this anymore.
Dave.
It's all right, Sal. I'll stay with him. Go find Haas.
Okay, they are addressing this. It felt like they're just like, let's just go back inside. Fuck it. It seemed like how it was going. Roswell sat on the floor, leaning his back against the side table.
Dave, are you there?
I found myself starting to chuckle again. It was a weird feeling, knowing how wrong it was to be laughing to the point that it almost felt foreign, as if I was in one of those memories watching through the eyes of another me.
Please don't break. I know you've just seen a bunch of murder, but just please hold it together. It's the only reasonable thing to do.
My laughing died when I heard him starting to sob. Not that I said anything, remaining quiet as if I were just a husk of the hyena I'd been days before. I don't know if you can continue to be just a husk of your former self every when the form. I don't know if you can just be a husk of the you were a few days ago over and over again in the same month, because that's been happening since day like 10 at this point.
Yeah.
We'll need to keep it together. If we can't, then...
He left it there, and sure enough, once the silence had hit, I had passed out from exhaustion. Nicer than being forcibly put under by a rat, for sure, but I worried any moment I'd open my eyes and be in another place I shouldn't be. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't thirsty. I felt weak but not tired. Exhausted, sure. Not tired, but exhausted. I don't know if that... well, I don't know what that means, actually, but I didn't want to sleep. My body seemed to have other ideas, though. My head hurt. My chest hurt. There was a sensation running up my arms as I lay in bed I couldn't quite describe, but it wasn't pleasant. In a daze, I thought about my friends. Not a dream as much as swimming in my thoughts. Nothing tangible as far as something to see, but just this feeling of longing for something I seemed unable to have. I feel like Dave's been, if he's unconscious again, at this point Dave has been unconscious for like 30 of the last 32 hours practically. And I don't know what Memphis is waiting for, honestly. Half the people are dead, and half of them lay around unconscious for large stretches of time in the middle of the day and at night. These are extremely ripe oranges. I wanted their safety. In the moment, it dawned on me that it was what I wanted most, above even my own. When I opened my eyes, it was dark. Roswell was gone, and the house was once again quiet. My head didn't hurt as much, instead replaced with a feeling of numbness. Or maybe not numbness, but a feeling that I'd gotten used to it. I didn't even bother checking how late it was, just that it was dark, that I was tired, and I wandered around looking for everyone. Heading towards the kitchen, I passed by the window that lined one of the walls to look out into the backyard.
Finally awake, huh?
Turning slowly, I spotted Thanatos on the table, watching me carefully. He said nothing else now that I'd known he was there, and waited for me to break the silence. Thanatos.
You come looking for me?
Yeah.
Find that hard to believe.
Listen, I need to ask you something. I keep thinking that Dave is gonna just ask Thanatos to pop his head.
Not gonna try and pull my head off this time.
No, I need...
I heard you. You want to ask me something? Told you that next time you saw me, you'd be happy to see me. Literally 5 seconds ago.
Don't fucking interrupt. Don't fucking interrupt, Thanatos.
It's so fucking weird.
I was literally saying the thing. I went quiet, looking back out the window.
I shouldn't need to tell you that I knew this would happen.
But you sure enjoy doing it. Again, I didn't reply, opting instead to continue looking out the window.
Go on, ask. I haven't got all night.
Oh god, it really is still day 21 somehow. We've been unconscious like 4 times today. You're not going to tell me who your master is. You're not going to help me unless it helps you.
Neither of those are questions.
What do I have to do to help?
There's the question. Less of this worrying about keeping everyone safe and alive stuff, and more about getting my job done.
Well...
Weird. Was the text color just different? I mean, for like Dave's actual speaking, that looks so bright for some reason.
I don't know. I think
no,
it's
I guess
normal.
it's the same.
This happened to me before too. The contrast between yellow and white sometimes throws my brain off, and I think that the color has changed.
It was just like very, very bright for some reason when I looked at it. Like I was kind of shocked.
It happened to me last session where I thought that the color changed because something about the rapidly changing colors, like suddenly like color theories of your brain, and you're just like, am I hallucinating?
Yeah.
Survive.
How?
Way I see it, you have two options.
Decide for me.
I can't. That's not how this works.
This is the decision game, Thanos. Dave, fuck. Because?
Every time you make a decision, you create a potential branch. One, I can have a look down and see if that helps get me any closer to my end goal. If I choose all the time, I'd just end up stuck.
Okay. I didn't get it. I also didn't care.
It's because you're dumb, Dave. It's really simple. You're just an idiot.
Well, he's never played Zero Escape.
Sure, but okay. Well, we can't really hold that against him, I suppose. It's more that, like, I don't know, maybe you and I are just built different, but like I feel like in a scenario,
I do think that having played Zero Escape fills in a lot of gaps compared to being some random 18-year-old that's in the scenario. We're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I guess all I'm saying is there's like, how do I say this? It feels like in a situation like this, where there's a time loop established and everything is going to shit, it is very hard to like give up your grasp of like morality and mortality. But like at a certain point, the supernatural becomes so hard to deny, and the like quantum mechanics of this become so hard to not deny, and everything has gone so far to shit that it feels like just doing what the rat says makes sense. And I'm not saying that Thanatos himself makes sense, because the way he's portrayed in the narrative is insane.
There's two problems, though, where one, doing what the rat says is itself just making your own decisions, because the rat will not tell you what to do. So you can't just do what you're supposed to do, which is its own problem. But also, like, I think the brain protects itself to some extent from the idea of coming to the conclusion that you are in a doomed timeline and you're meant to die and you should just give up and commit some sort of experiment for the other timelines that you will never experience and no matter how well they do, will never save you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I think that's true. But I guess in the context of like, for the purposes of a plot, right? Characters need to make decisions. That's what gives them agency. So at a certain point, I feel like you're gonna cling to whatever gives you power in a situation. At least that's what I would do in a survival circumstance, right? So even if I'm not just throwing myself at the wall al dente to try and figure out what sticks, there's definitely a part of me that's gonna be like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. I guess I'm gonna choose an option here that maybe is insane, but we just have to see what happens, right? And like so it's frustrating as a player to get to all these Thanatos decisions where like it's super clear. Like Thanatos, in his own defense, as much as I hate him and as inconsistent as he is, Thanatos, the entire time, has been pretty consistent in what he's saying when he's like, listen, you gotta make choices and just see what happens, because that's the only way out of this whole fucking situation.
I don't know if that's the case. I feel like Thanatos actually almost never gives Dave actionable advice. He's extremely cryptic about absolutely everything and kind of is completely unhelpful.
I don't think he has been giving him actionable information, but I think he's been clear whenever he says like, I can't choose, Dave. Like, you have to choose. We're just going through the loops. Like, there's a million variables and you're just gonna see what happens. Like, I think that at least is enough for Dave to, at a certain point, just be like, all right, I guess we live in a nihilistic looping universe where nothing matters and everything matters. So it's time to push the rock up the hill. But maybe that's just the Sisyphus. The Sisyphus in me speaking, you know? I don't know. It's a little bit... I just can't believe every single time they've had this conversation.
Well, I don't know how sincerely it's ever been clearly communicated specifically. Like the
I
idea
don't know
that,
if it's been
like, the
clearly
idea that
communicated.
Like, there's
but-
ideas like the fact that he can't give him the password, but I don't know if he's ever clearly communicated that he can't make the choices.
Thanatos
and Dave
has
has to make the
explained-
choices and so on.
Well, Dave has explained Thanatos has explained multiple times that he's like, I've seen the universe a million times. Even Roswell's brought it up now, where he's like, if things have just happened and we're all possibly seeing memories, then we gotta morphogenetic field it. Like, it kind of feels weird.
Well, that's also different because Roswell can't do the vault as far as we know and doesn't do it that way. It's just the fact that Thanatos's knockout seems to cause some kind of memory thing to happen, which he himself doesn't seem to know is happening. So that's like a whole extra wild card mess.
Sure, I kind of just feel like it's not that much of a wild card because it's clear that something is going on here. And maybe that's just our Zero Escape brains and our pattern-seeking brains saying something. But like, to me personally, I put a password in the vault and that made me fall asleep and I got a memory thing. Versus, I went to bed and dreamed and my dream might have been a memory. Ultimately, they're both linked to memory, and ultimately they're both linked to not being aware if it's truth or a fiction.
The problem is that
you
none
would
of
think
those
after
none of those elements give Dave a thing to do right now.
Sure, but I feel like it establishes the idea that like, all right, if there is any sort of ambiguity here at play and things are looping and there's even a possibility that this insane situation has any sort of value or meaning, I may as well seek out all of the routes and paths I can possibly go down and just make a fucking decision for once in my life. And it's very strange to me that Dave has still not clued in on this. And every single time Thanatos is like, you gotta make a choice, Junior. He's like, I don't know if I can make a choice. It's like, come on, dude, just fucking make a choice.
I don't think most people would. Or like, if they came to the conclusion of how this works, I still think they wouldn't like willingly be like, all right, let's just experiment. We're in a Doom timeline, lol. Like, because it's me.
Well, I'm not saying do that. I'm not saying like.
Well, then I don't know what you're saying.
We're gonna kill all of your friends. I'm saying Dave is so allergic to plot that he'll just be like,
yes.
I can't make any choice, even if the choice is just between going to the kitchen or going to the dining room, because what if Sal's upset, or what if Roswell's there? And it's just like, dude, he's like, someone literally just died in front of you. Like, why don't you just go in the hedge maze and get Hoss? Like, there's no weird thing. So when Thanatos shows up,
as actively anti-plot, and will almost never take any agency. But what's frustrating here is he's literally like, okay, fucking fine, Thanatos. What do you want from me? What do I need to do? And he's like, I don't know, man. You just gotta make your own choices. And I'm like, cool, great. Finally just fucking was like taking charge and be like, okay, what do I have to do? And your answer is literally nothing, less than nothing. You give me absolutely nothing to do. It's like, so what the fuck am I supposed to do then, asshole? Like, I'm on Dave's side here. Like he's like, even then I was like, oh, that's the right question to ask, which is that I don't have an answer for you. Fuck you.
Sure, yeah, but I guess what I'm saying though is that Dave ultimately has like two choices, right? It's like play along or don't play along. But the fallacy of that is that every single time he doesn't play along, like 2 or 3 scenes later, he just ends up playing along. And even if that doesn't give him actionable information, you feel like at some point...
Thanatos won't even give him a distinguishing difference between what is and isn't playing along. Like,
I guess. I don't know. Thanatos, I feel like Thanatos has been pretty clear about Dave. You have to ask fucking questions. Even if I give you shitty responses, you have to ask questions. And every single time it's happened, granted, Dave might not remember this clearly, it has led to something for the player.
Yeah,
so, like,
it's just
a weird
Thanatos
thing.
is currently stonewalling him.
Sure,
just absolutely.
I don't see... but the thing here is that Dave goes to Thanatos, or whatever, Dave encounters Thanatos. Thanatos is like, have you cooled off, kid? You're like, can you talk to me? Clearly you can't. And Dave is like, I'm not gonna I don't want to talk to you. And then like walks off. And then literally a scene later is like, hey Thanatos, it's time to talk. It's just like, come on, dude. Like,
he was having his
just
emotional
fucking
break and needed to sleep. That's just what was happening there. Like,
sure, but like a single scene of pacing there is weird. I think having it only be a single scene away, where it sets up that Dave doesn't want to talk to him, and then immediately acquiesces, no matter how much time has moved.
Because my immediate reaction was I thought Dave was asking Thanatos to kill him.
Yes, exactly.
So yes,
like,
it is
odd.
spaced weird, but it's because they don't have anywhere else to go. So they have no other characters to inhabit or anyone else to go with the narrative, and we don't really want the 5 days of Dave depression padding that we've had before, but yeah, it's a rough thing to do.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's like a weird thing where you feel like, why couldn't Dave have just been like, all right, I'm cooled off, and we could just have this scene 2 seconds ago without needing this weirdly paced, like, 1 scene gap between an actual conversation that's happening and Dave quote unquote playing along. Even if Thanatos is stonewalling him, like, the issue isn't necessarily Thanatos's lack of ability to portray something. It's just the fact that, like, Dave is a weird wishy-washy character who just, like, hasn't clued into the plot yet, even though we're 21 days in. Like, it's just very odd to me.
We should try to finish this thing before we're out of time.
Sure.
So your choice. You can stay here and see what happens, or you can run away and keep yourself alive.
And the others?
Offer doesn't extend to them. You're the one we're talking about now. Take it or leave it.
You're saying I had to choose between escaping with my life or staying and potentially dying?
Not saying that at all. Just reminding you of your options. I don't know if you're safer here or out there, but it's up to you.
But the others?
Look, here's the deal. I've been down this path already. It doesn't end great most of the times. Oswin's dead, so I'm out of luck for the most part. The more people you try taking with you, the harder it's gonna be.
I gave him the side eye as tired as I was, but he seemed not to notice.
If you leave and end up dead, then I wouldn't know about it. That goes for anyone you take with you. Good luck convincing them to escape with you, though.
Literally everyone was on board, I thought. If I ask nicely, they'll go. That's...
Not true.
Why did you say it that way? Like he's in kindergarten. I'm just like, what? If I ask nicely, what if I impress upon them the stakes? Like, other things. But also, like, everyone was talking about trying to escape, like, an hour ago.
They're scared, Junior. Good luck getting them to move this time of night.
Just tell them that nighttime's the best chance because they're harder to watch, to track. Even after Benson killed Dom, even knowing that whoever was here, that whoever he was here with might come looking.
I'm just telling you how things are. If you don't believe me, that's on you. You came seeking me out tonight, whether you're aware of it or not.
So that's it? It just comes down to staying or leaving?
Yep, stay or leave. Do whatever it is that keeps you alive, but there's nothing I'll offer you as far as passwords from this point on.
You haven't really offered us passwords in the past either, so
No.
there's kind of no difference there, but...
And I guess he means... Because Thanatos has only offered us one password ever, but I guess he means the Vault offering passwords because he is the Vault, and so
Yeah.
their very existence is him offering them? Except I
Yeah.
thought we were generating them? He stared at me and I stared back. When he didn't add anything else, I realized he was waiting for me to make my choice. I guess this is just like your live, die, repeat moment where he's like, you can't loop anymore. This is the canon one. Make it count. You want me to choose now?
I kind of don't feel like it's the you have to choose, you can't loop anymore. I just see it as him being like,
Well,
hey,
if he's
man,
if he's saying there's no
either
more
way,
passwords, then that means that's it. You can't.
no, it just means he's not going to get any more actionable information. And that this is like a doomed ending where there will be another Dave in some other timeline that can do something from this. It just requires him to make a
that's
decision
like
elsewhere.
go all the way back to path A or B. I mean, like,
Yes.
in path G, there will be no more passwords. So whatever goes forward, you can't undo that via another branch. That's what I mean by there's no more looping.
Sure. I just think he's also saying, like, whatever we get here, you're just finding information, dude. Like, this is just the information run, you know?
Yeah, but I think that what I'm saying is the explicit exact thing he's conveying. That's exactly what he means, is you can't fix anything that happens from here on out. That's what he's conveying to Dave.
Good as time as any.
But
No, decide. The sooner you do, the sooner I can put my processing power into finding a way out of this mess.
He shook his head, and it was enough to make me stop. It was decision time. Ally or betray. On one hand, I could leave now, use the dark of night as cover to head towards the main road. It was risky, but I'm well rested because I've been sleeping for the last 24 hours. But it was safer than sticking around here. But leaving would mean that I left now, without my friends, at least based on what Thanos was getting at. No passwords. There was no reply. Instead, he straightened slightly and continued to stare. Just going out alone? It's weird that this is the second time that taking your friends with you is just not an option, and Dave just accepts that from the authority figure. He needs to stop doing that. He needs to stop just accepting from authority figures that his friends won't go with him when he leaves, because that's the original Dave leaves ending also. And it's like,
yeah.
What? The whole story is about how much you care about your friends. Well, anyway, this will be a mess to unpack next time.